Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rundown, where we talk about 2A news and conservative views. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sears. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name's Mike Piwowarski, coming to you live from the East Coast. That's the coast with the most, from the co-host with the most here on the Rundown. 2A views, conservative news, and Craig, guess what day it is?
Oh, yeah.
Guess what day it is? Guess what day?
Okay, that was weird. Did the whole video play on your end?
No, it kind of gave me the stop and go motion there, like a Star Wars 1977.
It stopped right in the middle. It's just bam. Okay, we're gonna try what? We're gonna try that one more time. See if it plays.
One more
right.
time.
One more again. Here we go.
One more time.
Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Who's ready?
Star Punch Thursday, bitch.
Okay, I feel much better about that one. Feel much better about that
Yeah.
time.
Well, once
the technical
again,
difficulties, man. I'm telling you, man. These technocrats, man. I'm telling you, it's this. I'll tell you right now, it's the interwebs. The interweb gods do not like conservatives, and that's why they're coming after us.
They're going after us. Yeah, once again, Craig, the superpower I wish I had is the ability to punch people through the internet. I appreciate the Punch Thursday. I love it.
You know what? That would be phenomenal. I would love that so much. I would love to be able to just reach through and just, because I really believe that conversations would be a lot more civil online. Like people would say a lot less stupid stuff if they knew that there was a way for them to be held accountable.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, if you had, besides punching somebody through the internet, what would your next superpower be? If you could only have one, what would it be?
Wow. Huh. You know, I'd have to say super strength. Yeah, I'd have to go for super strength.
Okay. See, that's there in my top 3 or 4. I go back and forth between super strength, flying, right, invisibility, right. But I think the one that I want the most is the ability to stop time. Just want to stop and freeze time. That's the one I want. And then I would be known as super napper. That's what I would be. I would just
the cool
take a
thing
nap for
about
2 days.
about being able to stop time is that is, it's almost like you also have super speed, because if you have the ability to stop time and go and be somewhere else and then start time up again, you've literally just done what you would do if you had super speed.
So now here's the difference, right? Me at my age, at our age, right? Having the ability to stop time is the same as having super speed, except I don't have to exert myself.
Exactly. Exactly what I was thinking. No stretching needed.
No, nothing. Just click. All right, I got about 3 days to rob this bank. Here we go. You know?
Exactly. See, there you go. Now the problem is that you'd have to have the ability to be able to, things that you manipulate. You can actually, if you could pull things out of time and have them operate in your normal time. So, for example, if I just wanted to take a break while I'm robbing this bank and grab a beer, right? Does no good if when I open the beer and I go to pour it and nothing comes out.
Oh, no, you're not freezing the universe, I don't think. I mean, you still have to breathe and do all that stuff, right? You're not stopping air. It just, everything stops, you know? And I can take if a bird's in flight, I can move it forward a little bit. I can move it backwards. I can,
right. But like I said, so if I'm taking a drink of my drink and I go like this, well, if I tip the glass all the way over, it doesn't mean that it's going to come out in the normal speed. Otherwise I'm sitting there like.
Yeah. All right. Well, then I'll just drink beer with a straw. Then I don't know what to tell you. You know, just.
Okay, there you go. Drink beer with a straw. See,
I got super answers for you. See,
that's why Mike gets paid the big bucks.
I've thought about this. I know what I'm doing.
Clearly, you have. Clearly, this has been. He's like, okay, I'm going to dedicate an hour to this. What would I do with my superpowers?
Yeah. Again, I think it would mostly be a lot of naps. I just want to say that. That's nothing nefarious. Maybe I'd save some burning kitties, cats from a burning building, but most of it would be just taking naps.
Yeah, but seriously though, your current superpower is like, how do I want to put it? Hypothetical problem solving of stuff that problems you'll never have to solve because of
Right.
advantages you'll never have.
Yeah.
That's your
True.
current superpower.
And that goes with my current superpower, sarcasm. Yeah.
Sarcasm.
Yeah.
Yes. For those of you who have not noticed yet, there are a few people who are as sarcastic with the speed of Mr. Mike Piwowarski.
It's I guess it's in the genes. I don't know.
It's in
nice
it's in the genes. It's it a Polish thing? Is that what it is?
It could be Polish pants. Yeah, I have to go there.
Polish
find
pants?
Out. Yeah, that's it.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, folks, Throat Punch Thursday is where we take our time to poke fun at stuff that's going on in the world, and if we get a chance to with a liberal politician, we in a non-violent way, more rhetorically, punch him in the throat. Okay, that was a little high. I think I punched him in the chin.
Well, you're sitting down. He was standing.
There you go. Okay, I appreciate that, man. Covering my back, man. I appreciate that.
That's like the height you would throw if you're testifying in Congress.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, let's go ahead and get ready to get into it. But we got to do what we do, and you know what that is. We start off with paying off the bills, and that starts with a quick shout out to our sponsors.
That's right. Let's say hi to our friends at Hitman Industries. That's hitmanindustries.net. You want to get yourself an AR barrel, any length, any caliber, pistol, rifle, you can get from our good friends at hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting the good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. If you want the best in concealment holsters on the market, get on over to Hawg Holsters. That's HAWG holsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. That's all one word. No spaces, all caps. No spaces, all caps. Yeah, no spaces, all caps. There we go. Use that, get a nice little discount. And if you want the best in tactical gear, field gear, going outdoor gear, hunting gear, not deploying to war gear like Tim Walls, whatever you want, you can get everything except a gun at uscombatgear.com. And for today, for the rest of the week, today through tomorrow, probably through Monday, they'll go and extend it. Special offer from our friends over at Lion Arms. They're lionarmsusa.com, right? If you go there, get their phone number, call them, tell them you saw them on The Rundown, and they're going to give you 15% off anything they have.
Mm-hmm. They're not lying over at Lion Arms, let me tell you. They'll hook you up.
You can't hide from Lion Arms. Yeah, reach out and touch. Man, look. Was that lion you just did? It's like a lion on Broadway production of Cats.
That's what they should do. Matter of fact, that's what Magnets should do. Magnets should start doing like commercials, and at the end of every commercial, go.
Yeah, it's a theater cat. Theater lion is what it is. Yeah. Got to pay the bills, baby. Got to pay the bills.
Sales will go through the roof with the pink pistols.
That's it. That's right.
I got my gun at Lion Arms.
It's perfect. I love it.
I love it. Wrap it. Send them a bill for our consultancy.
That's it. And if you make the noise when you call him, he'll give you 20% off.
There you go. All right. So do us a favor. Take a moment. Visit our sponsors. The link to their websites are in the description to this program. And check them out. Look, I promise you'll like what you see. Veteran-owned and operated businesses, people who love America, who want to make America great again. They support the values that we support. So go there, check them out, spend some money with them, and make sure you tell them that the guys over at The Rundown sent you.
I saw a billboard this weekend when I was traveling over to the other side of Florida. Big prepaid billboard. It looks like brand new. It said, Trump 2024, make groceries affordable again.
Yeah. I'll tell you, just let me ask you this now. All of y'all out there watching, let me just be real with you. How many of y'all have gone generic? Because getting brand names is just too expensive.
Yeah.
I'm good. How many of y'all are getting Chuck roast now instead of prime rib or, a real nice cut, right?
Yep.
How many of y'all have downgraded to just like the regular bacon instead of the honey smoked bacon?
That's right. That's right. The regular cut, not the thick cut.
Exact. No thick cut for you.
Yeah.
Nope. Nope. Too
Yeah.
expensive. Too
Yeah.
expensive.
And
I
why
love it.
wouldn't thick cut be cheaper? I mean, it's less cuts and it has to be less precise. Shouldn't thick cut be cheaper?
I have no idea, but you know what? I know bacon is some good swine.
That's one smart pig. You don't eat them all at once.
There you go. You know what? In college, I had a friend who was Muslim, and he would say "Assalamu alaikum," and I would say "Bacon and salami to you too."
Bacon and salami. Yep, yep.
He was. I wasn't trying to offend. He was very. He was. What's the word I'm looking for? He was well humored. He was okay with it. It was funny.
I will tell you in my military existence, for many, many years dealing with Muslims and Muslim cultures all around the world, that there are certain things that Muslims only obey when other Muslims are watching, like Allah's not watching. One of them is eating that bacon. If there ain't no other Muslims around, they're having them a baconator sandwich for damn sure.
Oh no, this particular brother was like, now they're not supposed to drink or get high, and he
Yeah.
didn't drink, but dude stayed baked.
There you go. Well, that's the way he was when he converted. So that was like his starting point. He was allowed to stay at that level,
Okay, well there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, folks, let's start to get into today's program. We're going to start off with the honeymoon continues. You might have noticed I started off the piece, or the title of today's program was entitled "How Kamala Became Great," because you've been watching all the news stories. I mean, according to the mainstream media, Kamala Harris is the second coming of Barack Obama. She is the greatest thing since sliced bread. She is the great Kamala, soon to be president, the first black female, the first Indian person, the first cackling hyena. I'm sorry, did I say that? Cackling hyena to become president of the United States. Well, this piece over the National Review will help you to understand how Kamala became great. And as you also noticed, well, here it says she didn't earn it. I just said, Psst, she didn't. So let's talk a little bit about this piece. It says, how did Kamala Harris become so good at this? How does a subpar vice president get transformed nearly instantaneously into a joyful performer who can do no wrong? It's easy. One of James Burham's laws was, where there is no alternative, there is no problem. Since there was no alternative to pumping up Harris to star status, or the only alternative would be to sub out Joe Biden for a barely replacement level politician, she's now inspirational, hip, and beguilingly moderate. In other words, Kamala Harris has reversed the usual dynamic for getting considered JFK or Obama level political talent. She is great because, well, they say she is.
They say so, yeah.
That's what it comes down to. In other words, right now there is a honeymoon. Right now they are in a honeymoon phase, and the problem is, and this is where when Mike talks about, well, look, this was all planned. It's hard to believe that it was not planned, because you got to figure it was almost 100 days out, and that's usually how long the honeymoon lasts. And so far, we're in day 19 of her being the Democratic nominee, and we still have yet to have her answer a single question by the media.
Yeah, remarkable, right? None of this was planned at all. And like you said, I told you 2-3 month mark, that 100-day max mark, this was going to happen. And sure enough, it did right at the 100-day mark. Craig, I did find out an interesting little fact yesterday, and I didn't even realize it. Somebody was saying, when they were talking about the good things, and I think I was watching a Charlie Kirk interview, and they asked a Kamala supporter why they liked Kamala, and the guy had obviously no answer. It was something like, I like her smile, she seems like a trustable lady, that kind of thing. And he said that he really liked Ticket the way that it's balanced out between an African American woman, or an alleged or half African American woman, from the West Coast, and an older white man from the Midwest. And then Kirk pointed out, he said, they're the same age, right? And it just floored this guy. I mean, they're 6 months apart. I think Walt is 6 months older than Kamala is. But when somebody tried to cite that they like the age difference between the two of them for a balance, and he pointed out they're 6 months different age. I mean, this guy just kind of like crumbled on behind the microphone.
Oh, it was. I got to tell you, it was surprising to me when I realized. First of all, he looks like he looks like Bernie Sanders' little brother when he's actually young enough to be Bernie Sanders' son.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
dude, you've had a rough 60 years.
yeah. He looks
Dude,
like to me, he looks
I'm
like
55, and
Yeah.
and if I look like him at 60, if I look like him at 60, I'm going to be seriously worried.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. To me, he looks like a Skipper from Gilligan's Island. He just needs the hat. That's all he needs.
No, Skipper looked at least half a decade younger.
Well, I mean, he had Ginger and Mary Ann, so
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Hey, you can go get with the professor. You can go get with the millionaire, baby. But we're on an island. I'm the only one getting you off of here.
well, and like I said, it's funny. Like I keep reaching out and I keep talking to folks who I know in the mainstream media, and I'm like, are you people ever going to are you ever going to question her? Are you ever going to ask the question, why won't you ask any questions? How about that? How about why do you keep running? Why don't you yell when you see her coming by instead of just yelling at her or yelling at at Walls? Why don't you say, why do you keep running? Why won't you answer any questions? And the reason why is because they don't have to. They don't feel they have to.
Yeah,
And
right.
once they open their mouths, because the questions are going to be real serious. Number one, Kamala, what did you know and when did you know it? You knew that Joe Biden was not fit to be president. And by the way, if y'all were threatening him with the 25th Amendment, one of two things is the truth. Either one, he truly is not prepared to be president. He is not in any condition to be president. And the question is, why are you allowing him to continue to be president? Or number two, you literally just implemented a coup. You just decided that you were going to get rid of him and you chased him off the ticket by utilizing something that you didn't believe should actually be used. Which is it?
Yeah, absolutely right. And listen, if they had done the 25th Amendment, guess who would have been president? She would have been president until at least January 20th, depending on how the election goes, right? So what kind of backdoor deal did they make her that she turned down being president for 5 months? What kind of deal did they what kind of Polaroids did they have at her that they convinced her this was the right way to do it?
I don't know. And I don't think most of us will know. I know that there are reports in the media that even with that, Barack Obama basically told Kamala, look, if you don't gain any traction by the convention, we're going to replace you with someone else. That's why he didn't endorse her initially.
That's exactly what happened. Yep. Starting to see, folks, and this is stuff we've been dropping this on you for months now.
Now,
giving you this,
I will say this, according to all of the reports, this was a Schumer, Pelosi, Obama, like they were the trifecta. They were the three who really kind of pushed and made this happen. Once again, and this is the thing, folks, understand this. This is from the party that is trying to save democracy. They're going to save democracy by removing the guy that Democrats voted for.
Right.
With someone who nobody voted for.
Saving democracy through a coup d'etat.
Right. I just, at what point do they have to stop using that, Mike? At what point do they have to stop claiming that they are trying to save that they are saving democracy?
They don't have to because they think they're going to win. And they're prepared to, we know this from last election, prepared to do anything to win, Craig.
Anything. Folks, pay attention to what's going on. Pay attention to what's going on in your area locally, because I hate to say this, if it's not close, they can't cheat, and it's going to be close.
I already showed you video right here of apartment complexes and communities in Georgia that have a high immigrant population, and they've already registered and voted. Isn't that weird?
Well, they haven't voted yet. They voted in the primary. They haven't voted yet because ballots haven't been sent out yet.
Oh, they don't. You don't think they have those ballots already pre-printed? Come on.
I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to. You can speculate. I'm not going to speculate. Would it surprise me? No, but I'm not going to speculate.
I could make an educated decision based on prior performance and their current intent.
I'll bet you will. Moving on to our next subject. Speaking of being in front of the media and having to answer questions, it appears that Donald Trump and Kamala Harris have agreed to a debate. Supposedly, they've agreed to 3 debates, the first of which is going to be on ABC. Now, I got to be honest with you, man. I'm wondering whose advice is he following on this, because I'm not seeing the reason. To me, this just is not making sense. But you know what? I'm not Donald Trump. I'm not going to claim to know better than him. Anyway, so according to the Associated Press, Game On, ABC News says Harris, Trump have agreed to presidential debate on September 10th. ABC News says both Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump and his Democratic counterpart Kamala Harris have agreed to meet in a debate on September 10th. The network announcement on Thursday came shortly after Trump told a news conference that he had agreed to 3 debates with Harris in September on separate networks. Harris' campaign had no immediate comment. Trump is rejoining the ABC debate after posting on his social media network that he would not appear on the network, citing a lawsuit he had filed. His decision sets up a highly anticipated moment in an election where the first debate led to a massive change in the race, with Democratic President Joe Biden ending his re-election bid and endorsing his. Now, once again, I don't mean to, I actually do mean to question this decision, because I'm like, number one, unless you got changes in the debate format, like an audience, which I don't know. An audience will play to both of them depending on who's in the audience, but it's still going to be Donald Trump against the 2 ABC folks, because they're not going to be unbiased. I have no faith that they will be unbiased. Even if they ask the questions fairly, they're not going to ask the sort of questions that conservatives really want to hear about. They're going to ask the questions that liberals want to hear about. They're going to ask gotcha questions that are going to make Donald Trump look bad and that are going to make Kamala Harris look good. Now, Donald Trump can do what he normally does. What I'm hoping he'll do, if that happens, is don't answer the question that they ask. Give the answer that you want to give and make her respond. Now, Donald Trump is very good at that. And the thing is that Kamala Harris is bad in that she will respond to him. Now, the key has got to be for him is got to ask the questions, but you can't be like, it can't be like, how do I want to put this? He can't be seen as being mean and disrespectful to a woman. And I don't know how you balance that, but he's got to find a way to do that.
And I don't think it's about being, and he knows the difference, being mean and disrespectful to the woman. It's about being mean and disrespectful to an unfair debate format. And like you said, if he comes out of the box and says, no matter what they ask him, if his first response is, we're not playing with those questions. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have real questions. Otherwise, Donald Trump is walking off this stage, because unless we have a fair and equal debate, there's no purpose to be here. And that's it. He's got to insist when he answers whatever he's going to answer, that he demands a response from her. Oh yeah.
And then
when he comes back to the next question,
what do you believe about? What do you believe about diversity, equity, and inclusion? I'm like, you know what? Most people aren't concerned about diversity, equity, and inclusion. They're concerned about being able to put food on the table. They want to know, what are we going to do in order to reduce costs, in order to reduce inflation, in order to make it, America affordable again. because they decided that they were going to cut domestic oil production. They decided that they were going to put all these things in place that caused inflation to go up. Now, if you're not going to ask, you may be too bought and paid for, so you won't ask it, but I'm going to ask it. That's how Donald Trump has to be.
That's it. And no matter what she says,
I hope he got some agreement to do at least one of these on Fox News.
Yeah, and no matter what she says, and no matter what the commentators come back and say, he has to come back to it and say, the country is still waiting for your answer on affordable groceries.
Yep. Exactly. If they are not going to ask the questions, he's got to ask the questions.
Yeah. Yep, and I think he will. And that's the only reason he agreed to 3. So he can have, maybe he doesn't get the first format he wants, but he can change that while on the stage. But by the time we get to the 3rd, which will probably end up with the Fox interview being the 3rd one, it's going to be, the best of Trump hour.
Well, the problem is I would have held out for Fox being the first. Because they may do one, and she decides either she wins handily and she decides I'm not doing any more debates, or she gets trounced and decides I'm not doing any more debates.
Well, there'll be no trouncing, right? Because the media gets to decide who wins. So there won't be a trouncing. Yeah,
well, no, I wouldn't say that, because they tried that with Biden, and it didn't work out so well for him.
That was part of the plan. They could have pumped him up on Thorazine, and he could have been awake on that stage. They chose not to.
They probably gave him some downers or something.
Little doggy downers. Yep. No puppy uppers, just some doggy downers.
Just doggy downers. Anyway, folks, it's going to be interesting. I will still continue to say that just understand that as you watch these debates, it's 1 against 3. It's Donald Trump against Kamala Harris and the media folks. And I'll be honest with you, as much as people want to talk about Donald Trump, he's got more brain power than any 2 anchors at ABC and Kamala Harris put together. Although I will say that, so here's the funny part. I saw an analysis by a speech pathologist who basically talked about the fact, he's like, well, Donald Trump speaks at like a 5th, 6th grade level. And I said, what's funny about that? I said, do you realize that the average American reads at like a 6th, 7th grade level?
Yeah.
He's probably speaking to where most people are.
He knows his target. I was
like, just so you know, he knows his target audience. And when I say American people, I'm not just talking about his voters. I'm talking about voters, period. Yeah.
Whereas she talks to people on the kindergarten level, and they feel like as they've been, condescended to.
Well, exactly. Kindergarten, exactly. Russia's a country. It's next to Ukraine. Ukraine is a smaller country. And the big country invaded the smaller country, and that's bad.
Right? Okay. We know that, right?
We know this. We know this is bad. Oh. Anyway, talk about condescending. All right, this was a good one. So recognizing that Kamala Harris has refused. I mean, I talked earlier about the fact that this is day 19 that she's been the nominee and hasn't answered any media questions, not a single one. But it's been like 6-7 weeks since she sat down and done an actual interview with anybody. And no one in the media is raising any questions about that. In fact, all they're doing is saying, well, look, Republicans have mentioned that she hasn't done or challenged her for not doing any media interviews. Well, J.D. Vance, when landing, decided, because they're all doing their swing state stuff now, they're going after and they're campaigning in swing states, and J.D. Vance landed on the same tarmac that Kamala Harris and Air Force Two were, and he decided to do a little bit of a press availability.
I know you're covering the Vice President here. I figured I'd come by and wanted to get a good look at the plane. Hopefully it's going to be my plane in a few months, but I also thought you guys might get lonely because the Vice President doesn't answer questions from reporters and hasn't for 17 days. Have they given you guys an explanation for why she won't take questions from reporters? No? Nobody? Okay, great. Well, I hope that you changes her mind because it'd be good for the American people, and I think it'd be good for you all if she actually ran a real campaign instead of one from a basement with a teleprompter. So have a good one, guys. See ya.
There
Craig,
he
you notice,
is doing the media's job for them.
Yeah.
You know what? That was less about her than it was about them.
Yeah.
Because he's
Exactly.
standing out there. He's talking to him. Trump is standing out there. Trump is talking to him. Where's Kamala Harris? Hiding. But there was one thing I wanted you. Did you notice something there in the background, Mike?
I did. It was set on his left off to stage right. It was DEI Secret Service superstar.
Can we get someone to stand between me and her?
Yeah, please. I need someone to guard her guarding me.
There you go. Just so I feel safe.
Yeah.
Does she?
Yep.
Is she carrying? Because I want to make sure she knows how to holster her weapon.
Yeah, I'm sure. Listen, JD Vance being with his background, he's probably got her doing holster drill on the plane.
But dude, that is hilarious. I mean, anyway.
Yeah.
Once again, why is nobody in the mainstream media? Why are there no commentaries? Why are there no editorials? No one has had an opportunity to sit down and talk with her about a number of different things now that the policies that she has to own are hers. Now, she's changed her mind on a bunch of stuff. Not one question about it. In fact, she's not even the one who said it. It's her staff that's sending out, oh, well, she's okay with fracking now. Or, oh, she doesn't want to confiscate firearms. She doesn't want to do a mandatory gun buyback. Oh, and I'm like, so she doesn't have to answer questions on any of that. We're just supposed to take it on the word of her staff that, well, she's had an epiphany. Right?
Well, Craig, I'll beg you to see story number 1. The reason she doesn't do this is because Kamala is great.
Oh, yeah. Well, that we know. Anyway, but no, she's not going to answer any questions about, like I said, what did you know and when did you know it? Because the week before you replaced him on the ballot, you were telling us, oh, he's fine. He's great. Oh, yeah. No, as a matter of fact, he's thinking about representing the U.S. in the Olympics in gymnastics. Man, he's phenomenal. He could play chess. I bet you he could beat a computer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he could beat up a container of tapioca like you wouldn't believe.
I'm just like, we're supposed to believe this stuff that they're putting out there for us.
Yeah,
no,
absolutely.
I'm sorry. She needs to be answering some questions. And not that I expect or anticipate that the media will actually ask her real questions. But, you notice by the way, and I will say this, and this is one thing y'all need to realize. Donald Trump went into the belly of the beast. When he went to the National Association of Black Journalists, let me tell you something.
That's right.
Harris Faulkner was probably the only journalist in the room that was even going to try to be fair to him. Nobody else there was going to be fair to him. Half the people didn't even want him to be there because they only want to hear from someone that they're going to suck up to. So none of them were going to be fair. He went into the lion's den. He stands in front of reporters and answers questions. He also calls them out. Kamala won't even go before the media, and I'll bet you she won't go on Fox News.
They'll find a reason. They'll find a reason,
because she's scared. She's scared.
Well, she's scared. It is, and he will be able to call her out though if she decides to back out of it. Then he's able to turn the narrative against her.
Well, exactly. Anyway, moving on to our next story. So now Florida has permitless carry, but they don't have open permitless carry. And so a group of Floridians has decided that they're going to sue the state of Florida over their open carry ban. This being reported by the Tampa Bay Times. Second Amendment groups and the Palm Beach County gun owner Tuesday filed a federal lawsuit challenging the constitutionality of a Florida law that bars people from openly carrying firearms. Gun Owners of America and Gun Owners Foundation and gun owner Richard Hughes filed the lawsuit in South Florida and contended that the open carry ban does not meet a legal test, that such restrictions must be consistent with the nation's historical foundation of firearms regulation. I'm just going to read that because I know this from what I understand about the law relating to these is that they're only allowed. I mean, states are only required to allow someone to carry a firearm. The mode of carry can be different. You can do open carry, you can do concealed carry, you can do concealed carry with a permit, as long as the permit scheme is shall issue, meaning you meet some reasonable requirements, and you can get your permit and be able to carry. I'm curious about what your thoughts are on this particular lawsuit, Mike, being as you are in Florida, and what you think the chances of this lawsuit are.
So Florida has found a couple of times in the past 10 years that there was no right to open carry because we had, permitted carry, and now there is a permitless carry. Now there's been no case since permitless carry came about. That's only been in the last 6 months, 8 months. So there's been nothing to compare that against. However, not the face of the court, but the names on the court have changed. It's been a conservative court here in Florida for years and years, but they've consistently found no right to open carry because there is a carry option. Now, post Bruin, this will be the first case that goes forward. So the question becomes, do they follow Bruin? Do they follow what other courts have found that the history and tradition says open carry is where this is? Or did they come around and say, based on newer technology, open carry is not required? Because remember, open carry originally started when a gun was this big, Craig. That's how big a pistol was. So they say, based on history and tradition, we decide to reinterpret it. Well, it's a tough one in Florida. Florida's been against open carry for years and years, and we'll see how this comes about. So this is going to be one of those where I think under the law they're going to have to say open carry is allowed, but I believe that they're going to find a way for it not to be allowed.
Mm. Well, there you go. It's an interesting analysis because for those of you who are not like actively involved in the gun rights community, there has been an ongoing debate between those who push concealed carry and those who push open carry or believers in open carry, and they don't always get along and they don't always agree.
Right.
And
However,
a lot of times the contention has been some people want to push the open carry direction, some people want to push the concealed carry direction. But the one thing that they've agreed on is pushing the ability to carry.
Yeah, so that's what this has to be about, and we need the crowd that says I don't like open carry. They need to shut their pie holes at this point. Okay, this is not about the choice to open carry versus the choice to conceal carry. This is about the right to carry.
Right. Do you have a right? And that's the thing is, just based on just the Constitution, all it says is the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Well, it doesn't speak to carry, or it doesn't speak to open or conceal carry. So that's where then you look to tradition in law.
Right.
And I don't know enough about, in particular, Florida law to know if there are traditions. I know this. I know that historically concealed carry was actually considered cowardly and was discouraged. But like you said, that was because firearms were much larger back then.
Yeah. Yes. So we'll see. We'll find out. This is going to be a fun one to watch.
It's going to be a fun one to watch in a state that at least we know now definitely believes in the right to bear arms. So it ain't a question of if, it's a question of how.
Correct.
All right, folks. So that brings us to our parting shots. Parting shots are brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholsters.com. Use discount code The Rundown. All caps, no spaces. Get your hog holster today. Our first couple of parting shots today are brought to you by the Babylon Bee. Well, first of all, we have Donald Trump standing in front of a microphone answering questions. And it says here, journalist confused by presidential candidate standing in front of cameras and answering questions.
What do we do? What do we do?
How about you ask him a question?
Mm-hmm. They don't know what to do. They don't have questions prepared. Oh, wait, that's for the other candidate.
There you go. By the way, the Babylon Bee has discovered a reason why Donald Trump was hesitant to debate Kamala Harris. According to the Babylon Bee, fake news you can count on, Trump concerned if he beats Kamala in debate, they might replace her with someone good this time.
That's right. Very true.
As we know, because if she did as good a job as she did as the borders are, says here, borders are watching 10 million illegals cross the U.S. border. That's Kamala wearing a sombrero, chilling, sitting back, chilling, saying, I'll allow it.
That's it. So right.
All right, some non-political funnies. These are ones that I have to say, with both of these, I actually can really kind of really associate. These are a couple of tweeters. It says here, who is allowed to show up at your house unannounced? And then the bottom one says, UPS, FedEx, and Amazon.
That's it. Otherwise, have a warrant.
Dude, I got to tell you, in Indian culture, like my wife being East Indian, people just show up. And I always hated it. I'm like, look, dude, you call me before you come over, right?
Yeah.
Don't just show up at my house.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that took some getting used to, let me tell you.
Right.
And then finally, the last one, and this one really cracked me up. Accidentally became important at work, and it's ruining my life.
Yep.
Folks, you want to be indispensable but not important, right? You just want to be like, look, they can't open the door without me. You don't want to be they can't run the business without me.
That's it. Exactly right. Just want to
You
go
want to
get
be
my
important
paycheck,
enough to
be good.
where if you can do it from a distance, it's okay, and they don't really need to bother you about a lot of stuff,
Yep.
but important enough to where they can't get rid of you.
Perfect.
Oh, good stuff, good stuff. All right, folks, well, that's about it for today's program. But before we go, we're going to do what we do, and that is give a quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yep. Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Got that AR in the last 5 years, probably got one of their barrels that don't even know it. Now you can buy from them factory direct for your next AR build or rebarrel your current AR platform. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly, fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. If you want the best in tactical gear, web gear, assault gear, whatever kind of gear you may need, you can get everything except the gun at uscombatgear.com. And if you want the best quality, individually made AR platforms available on the market, get on over to Lion Arms USA. That's Lion Arms USA. Pull the phone number off there. Tell them you saw Lion Arms USA on the rundown. Give them a call. They give you 15% off. And if you go, they give you 20.
All right. So if anyone does all right, Matt, you gotta tell me on Monday. If anyone does that over the weekend, tell Magnet he's got to let us know.
Yep.
All right, folks, take a moment, visit our sponsors. The links to their websites are in the description to this program. We appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you liking and sharing the program. And oh, by the way, I want to comment. So Bob, who's watching us on Facebook, he wanted to know how much Tupac does she have to listen to, for goodness sake. Well, that's if she's going to listen to the Pac, she got to listen to him while she's smoking some weed.
That's it.
Because that's how Kamala rolls.
After he got shot, they started calling him One Pac.
One Pac?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow on Free for All Friday. Have fun, stay safe, and if you get a chance, make sure you send a few downrange. We'll holler at you later.